So it looks like Real Madrid are interested in Ayyoub Bouaddi. Now he's on the market for Real Madrid. He's on the market for many other big clubs like PSG, Man United, Liverpool. He is one to watch in the World Cup and he's one of the best players in the World Cup in this current moment. Dropping good performances by each passing game. He performed against Brazil, performed against Scotland, and he's now gaining a lot of interest. But the thing is, Ayyoub Bouaddi is not a player that we've only known now since the World Cup. For us Real Madrid fans who watched Leo against Real Madrid in 2024, he performed quite good. And actually, let me show you this. This is what I said about him after the match. Leo was still cooking out defense. Their 17-year-old midfielder was so composed, just dominating Real Madrid. This 17-year-old, and apparently it was his birthday as well. Seriously, what a player he is already. But the fact that he was playing like that against our midfield of Bellingham, Tchouameni, Camavinga, Valverde, it's kinda sad if you think about it. So you see, even back then, this guy was quite good. He outshined Real Madrid's midfield. And let me show you his performance here, but he did so well against Real Madrid, was composed. His confidence was insane, ball playing was good, the way he passed with his teammates, and he did all of this, played with all this confidence against Real Madrid. He didn't do this against some poor League One team. No, he did this against the best team in the world, which is Real Madrid. And back then he was 17 and he was 16 a day before that. That was his birthday. So he turned 17 against Real Madrid and he dropped an absolute banger of a performance against Real Madrid. Now the thing is, now he's 18, he's turning 19 years of age, and he has grown massively since then. At 17 he was much more skinnier, he was more quicker, faster. He wasn't this player that's gonna muscle you off the ball, because he was 16 at the end of the day. 2 years later, now he's 18 and his frame has changed. He plays with confidence, he plays so much different, and I can honestly say in the future he could be the next Sergio Busquets or the next Rodri. And the way the market looks is PSG is interested in him, and if PSG gets him, can you imagine this midfield? João Neves, Vitinha, and then Bouaddi in the CDM position? That would be scary, and we need to try our best not to make that happen. The thing is, Manchester United's also interested in him, and the thing about Leo is, Leo don't want to sell him to PSG because they are rivals. So when we talk about how he performed against Brazil, I think this is one of his best performances I've seen, and honestly one of the best performances I've seen from an 18-year-old. I know Yamal, he puts on performances like this every single time, but Bouaddi, for his age, playing as a CDM in a big stage against Brazil. Brazil's the best team in the internationals, or one of the best, and he played with so much confidence. He was press resistant. Those high-class Brazilian attackers were pressing him and they couldn't get the ball off him. He was press resistant just like Busquets. His tackling was also quite good. He stopped big plays from happening, and he's much more stronger now. He reminds me a lot of Rodri. And if he's playing like this at 18, how is he gonna play in the next 10 years? Now the thing about him is he combines great defensive displays, good awareness in defense. He combines that with intelligence. His football IQ is quite good, especially for his age. The sneaky passes he makes, the runs he makes, it's very good. And I think he's a player that can play central midfield and central defensive midfield. He's quite gifted in either of those positions, and he can control the midfield. Like, I looked at this match against Scotland. This wasn't his best performance ever, but it was his performance he put on this morning. It was a good display, especially when it came to controlling the tempo, controlling the game, dictating what happens next. He was controlling the game. He played very good against Scotland, and this was very impressive. But I do think his Brazil performance was top class. I think that is better than his Scotland performance, and I think we still need to see a bit more from him as the World Cup goes on. And the thing is, if he can perform in the World Cup, if he can perform for the next how many matches it is, because I think Morocco's going to qualify, then we can see where he's truly at. Now the risky part is he's 18 years of age. If Real Madrid do sign him, they're gonna have to sell a player, because his worth is 100 million. I know that is crazy. That is what the World Cup does. If you are a player that is worth like 40 million, if you play good in the World Cup, then suddenly your market value is 9 figures. You're worth probably 100 million because he's now 18. It's sad what's happening to the market, but it is what it is. I think Real Madrid could sign him. I don't know if they should sign him. And I think the team that will actually sign him is Man United. They have been known notoriously for spending crazy money on these young players and maybe even some unproven youngsters. And if we do sign him, we're gonna have to sell Chouameni. Okay, so moving on now from Bouaddi, we have to talk about some of these insane World Cup performances. Let's talk first of all about Arda Güler. So Arda Güler, the thing about him is his nation is now out of the World Cup. Turkey is out of the World Cup, and that is kinda crazy. I'm one of those people who even made a full-blown video talking about how Güler's gonna be a big player in the World Cup. He's gonna change the World Cup. He's gonna make Turkey go further, almost like dark horses, and that he's gonna be the MVP. Turns out none of that happened, and Turkey ended up being one of the worst teams in the World Cup. Honestly, I would even say probably worse than South Africa. South Africa is the team that I thought would be not that good, but they played decently against Czechia. Turkey were like favorites to even top that group. They were favorites to beat Australia, they lost. They were favorites to beat Paraguay, and they also lost. So I don't know where they go from here. They disappointed their fans and their country. And Arda Güler, he wasn't that good. Me as an Arda Güler fan, it pains me to say it, but he seriously was not a good player. And then we move on to some other Real Madrid players in the World Cup. Mbappe, we know, had an excellent performance, scored 2 goals. Then we had Jude Bellingham, also had an excellent performance. He scored 1 goal and overall just had an insane game. Then Vinny Jr., in the past 2 matches, he scored 1 goal against Morocco. That was an insane goal. He scored again, this time against Haiti. A very good goal also from him. He has now surpassed Ronaldinho when it comes to World Cup legacy for Brazil. It's crazy, a player that everyone was disregarding, they said he's finished, and now a player like Rafinha, they are now criticizing Rafinha. And then another player who also kinda scored was Endrick. He came up from the bench, he scored, it was ruled out. It is what it is. He showed Ancelotti a bit of what he can do there. We shouldn't be worried too much about him. I think he's still gonna have a huge impact for Brazil in the World Cup, but I think it will happen in the later stages of the tournament. Brazil are gonna qualify, and you know what, so far I've been seeing even some reports, José Mourinho wants to keep 2 players, and these 2 players will shock you, 2 young players. It's Franco Mastantuono, it's Gonzalo Garcia, and I'm very happy, not because of Franco. I think Franco is a player that can go on loan, and I don't think there is much space for him in the team anymore. We have too many attacking midfielders. Bernardo Silva just came, but Gonzalo Garcia, I think this is a player that we cannot afford to lose. He is a tall striker, can score headers, can score important goals. Gonzalo Garcia is our only player, only attacker that is a proper number 9. Endrick can play right wing, can also play number 9, but he is not someone who's gonna step up in set pieces. Mbappe, same situation. You know, with all these midfield signings that have been happening and are still going to probably happen, it makes me think, where does Thiago Pitach fit in all of this? Because he's been kind of a player we've kind of forgotten. His last performance for Real Madrid was the last game of the season. He put on an insane display. Now the thing is, he signed a new contract. I don't think he should stay in the Castilla. He's actually way too good for the Castilla in my opinion. They need to loan him. Loan him to Como or sell him to Como with a buyback clause. I think he will perform. But that's definitely a player we kind of forgotten. But either way, tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I will be reading, will be responding. If you enjoyed the video, smash like because it truly helps out the channel. It helps me out. Subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Peace out.